Jujube is the prime time right now, you know.
And how many trees do you have?
I think at least 15 trees. We planted a lot of the seedlings, you know. Our challenge was how do we make the seeds propagate. Jujube is not, you don't have to do too much to it. It's drought resistant, you know, it's temperature, you know, it can handle low temperatures. Pest wise, hardly see anything. This is the Indian jujube. This is the authentic Indian jujube. The best way to do it is we'll put a tarp and then let them, you know, we'll just shake the tree and it'll all fall down and then we'll pick them up.
You have more varieties than anyone else probably in all of Florida because you can't even buy other varieties. But you never know, folks, even though he's planting all these seedlings, you never know, one might come out that's absolutely amazing and it's a new variety. So it's okay to plant seedlings if you have space. Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. Today I'm at a farm here in West Palm Beach called Naga Gardens. I'll put a link below to another video I did here previously. This is primarily a lychee farm, and we were here in the summertime and we looked at their lychee trees and some of their mango trees. And today we're going to look at their jujubes and check their jujubes out. But they have so many different varieties of different types of foods here, and they have so much stuff here, and it's winter time, so I wanted to come here and see what they have growing in the winter time. As you can see here, they have a lot of sapote, which are wonderful, and here's one on the floor. I don't know what variety this is, but we'll look at the owner today and see what varieties they have of these foods. But they have several different sapotes, and I love coming to these farms and just seeing how people are growing and what to expect. And that's what we're going to do today with jujubes, because traditionally there's, here in Florida, now in California there's so many different types of jujubes and they're different, but you could let them get soft. Here in Florida, most people are growing something called the giant high jujubes. They're from Taiwan, and I love them. I love them. And they're a winter food, and they taste like sweet apples if you eat them at the right stage. Even if you don't eat them right stage, they taste like green apples. They're excellent. But from what I understand here is, he has different varieties other than just the Thai giant one. So we're going to look at that today. Then we're also going to just check this out. We're standing in the middle of probably one of the biggest tropical fruit farms here. I think it's 15 acres here in South Florida. Mostly lychees, but he has jackfruits and mangoes and papayas. Really amazing everything he has. And then he has this area of winter fruits. A bunch of sapote fruits on the tree. And he has jujubes that we're going to look at today as well. So these are sapote fruits. And then we're going to go and look at, I want to look at his black sapote tree. So let's check that out. All right, everybody. Here is his black sapote tree. And he told me he just took off all the fruit, and he doesn't know what variety it is. He has 3 or 4 trees here, and they've been here since he got the property, but he said they're really big, so we're going to get one of them and taste it and see how they are. That's black sapote. And this is Ravi. We did another video here that was amazing. This is honestly one of the best farms I've ever been to.
Yeah,
and thank you. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, Paul, good morning. We picked a very nice, cool morning.
Yeah, last times we were here, it was the middle of summer, and now we're here in the winter.
Absolutely.
So we're looking at some fruits that grow in the winter time. So what's growing here in the winter time right now? I know you have sapote, right?
Yeah, sapote just started to grow now from late December. We'll probably get sapote for up to June, actually.
How many varieties of that do you have?
I think we have at least 4 or 5 varieties of sapote. That's the reason why our Our season extends all the way from December to June, July.
Wow. Okay, and then you also have star fruit.
We also have star fruit, but you can see there's one tree right there. But star fruit, for whatever reason, it's not that much in demand, at least in my farm.
Yeah. How many varieties do you have of that?
I think there's at least two. I planted some recently, and I don't know that the tags are on there.
What else? Do you have canastilla egg fruit?
We have egg fruit. We don't sell them because we just got a couple plants.
Okay.
So those are just for local use. Somebody comes in once in a while. If you got a few, then we'll try to sell them.
And you have black sapote?
We have black sapote. We have about 3 trees of black sapote. They produce, not very well for us, but they did produce some this year. And on our open store days, like on Saturdays, we sell a few of them.
Now, on those trees, are they all the same variety, or you don't know much about them?
I think they're pretty much same variety. Yeah.
Okay.
Same
Great.
variety.
And
I just don't know what type it is. Yeah.
All right.
The previous owner planted them, and we're just enjoying the benefits of those fruits.
And then another winter fruit that we're going to look at today is jujubes.
Absolutely, jujube is the prime time right now.
And how many trees do you have?
I think at least 15 trees.
Were they here when you got it, or did you put them in?
There were a few, maybe 5 or 6 were here. The rest of them we planted. But what we're finding out is we planted a lot of the seedlings, So now I'm finding out the seedlings are not going to come true to seed,
So when you did that, did you know about that at that time, that seedlings won't come true to seed?
Our challenge was, how do we make the seeds propagate, So we see hundreds of fruits falling on the ground, but we never see the propagation of new plants. So we're always wondering what's going on here, So later on we realized that you have to actually break the seed, and then you'll get 2 or 3 small seeds inside.
You have to what?
You have to actually break the main seed that you get from the jujube.
Oh wow!
And then once you break it, that's a challenge to break. Yeah, you have to break it open. When you open it, you'll see 2 or 3 small seeds. And those are the ones you want to plant. If you plant those, you'll get new plants within like 1 to 2 weeks.
So what I heard from the jujubes, when you get from a seed, they come up extremely thorny, a lot of thorns in the seedlings.
I don't know. I haven't observed that.
Okay, so show us what you got. So show us the varieties that were here and your seedlings and everything.
So these 2 are not seedlings. They were planted. One of them we planted. One of them is probably grafted version. The other one is the Chinese jujube, the larger one. And this is also a Chinese jujube, but it's a kind of a hybrid. It's got smaller fruit.
I was always told the only jujubes that will grow here in South Florida are the thornless Taiwan from Taiwan.
And the Indian variety, the small Indian variety will grow well here. I've actually bought some plants from Washington State, like sugar cane, is one of them, and then there's a lang. I tried to put them. I thought, hey, they'll grow well here. I don't even get them to grow. They're still there, but I don't see any leaves or anything like that. So I'm thinking they're just not suitable.
Yeah, there are a whole bunch of varieties in California that are different. Those, after they're fresh, they can go dry, and they call them Chinese dates.
Right,
but here in Florida, the only one that I know to do great is called the Giant Thai, which is from Taiwan. And like you say, an Indian one. But show us what these are. So these are two grafted ones.
These are actually, this tree fell down during a storm about 2-3 months back. So we had to just pull it back up. And fortunately, the fruit still remained on. The flowers still remained.
Now, do you ever cut back this tree?
We've cut back a couple times. So the challenge is, if you don't cut it, you have to have a lift or something to just go up and pick them, because once they go too high.
So these 2 trees are different.
They're absolutely different, yeah. So if you go,
so this one, the fruit looks kind of small here.
It's small, but it's got a different taste to it. So you could try one of the yellow ones. If it's
there you go.
There might be some sulfur residue on there. You wipe it if you want.
Okay.
So it's got a slightly different taste. It's got a little sweet sour type taste.
And do they get bigger than this on this tree?
No,
or they all stay
this one
small?
only gets this size. They won't get any bigger.
Okay.
So they're actually starting to ripen now.
Yeah.
You could see a few are yellow, and I like them when they're yellow rather than when they're too ripe. Then the too ripe, they taste a little different. Some people like it too ripe, but I prefer yellow, and then they're crunchy and nice.
And they fruit one time a year.
They only fruit one time a year. Now, occasionally we'll see some Indian jujube will fruit twice a year. But the fruit that comes in out of the season, it doesn't normally taste good.
Okay.
So
and you sell these at your local stand and also in the mail?
We've advertised it on our website. That we sell the larger, the Chinese jujube. So right now, those are the only two we're selling.
Okay.
And then on the weekends, we're open on Saturdays from 10 to 2. So a lot of walk-ins come in, and then if they want jujube, they'll just buy. Sometimes they'll just go to the tree and pick what they want. My guy goes in and picks the fruit.
Okay. Well, there you go, the tree. It's a beautiful tree.
Yeah, you can see it's got a nice canopy in it.
Yeah.
And a lot of fruit on it.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, jujube is not. You don't have to do too much to it. It's drought resistant. It's temperature. It can handle low temperatures. Pest wise, hardly see anything. You'll just see sometimes you see black spots on the leaves, but that's only after the fruit is already mature. So let's look at this one here. So these are the larger ones, not super large, but they're larger than that variety. So let's see if you want to try one of these here. The yellow ones would taste a lot better, and some of the good ones are way up on the top.
Yeah, the more sun they get, the more yellow they turn faster. And
let's see if you can pick one.
These are bigger. Okay.
It's still not fully yellow, but...
and there's a tree now. Why is this tree, was it just a different variety that this tree looks like it has more on here?
This is an older tree, and this is a fairly new. This is probably, the smaller jujube tree is about 3 years old. So you can see in 3 years the production.
Yeah, this bigger one is much nicer. It's
Do you like
crispy.
that taste better?
More crispy.
Okay. I actually like the small one better because it's got that unique special taste to it. But it's all preference, different people like different tastes. Some people love the Indian jujube, and that's completely different from the taste.
You have that one as well?
We'll show you that one.
Is it season now?
It's fully in season now. It's blooming very well. So this one is, it's producing, but it's not as good as it was a few years back. So I think it's just dying, slowly.
And how old are these trees?
These are probably at least 15. This one is 15 years old, and then the smaller one here with the smaller fruit is about maybe 3 years old.
Do you sell the trees or just the fruit?
We sold some trees, but those were seedlings. Now we realize that the seedlings are not going to be coming to the seed, So we're kind of waiting to see if we can graft those. That's probably the way to go. We should try to take some scions from these trees and plant them, graft them. And grafting jujube is not an easy process, I mean, just like mangoes, some people are very good at it. We're just not an expert in grafting.
Yeah, so what most people do is when this tree, after it gives fruit, they actually cut it at the base, and every year it grows back till about,
So that way you can capture the fruit.
Capture the fruit. Yeah. And to be honest, the only fruit tree, besides your farm is the first farm that I've seen.
Where it's grown very big.
I've been to one other farm where they had two varieties, but the Thai Giant, also known as the thornless Thai, is the one that's common out here in South Florida.
So it could be one of those varieties that we're growing because they seem to thrive over here.
But those fruit are like hand
real
size.
Big ones?
Yeah.
We'll see one other tree there. Those are a little bit bigger than this.
Well, that's nice. And everybody, I encourage you to come on out here. They're open on Saturdays, or they ship in the mail just to try the different varieties. Now, they're much better when they're lighter, when they're yellow. No matter what variety they are, when they're green, they're more bitter, but when they're yellow, they get sweeter. And sometimes they can go over sweet, which is, I like them when they're like that, but some people don't.
I think what the taste varies in the ripening stage. You know, when it's yellow, it's got a different taste. When it's really ripened, got a different taste. It's all about, you know, what people like. You know, it's personal choices. But the best, I think, is the yellow. When they're yellow, that's when you want to harvest.
In California, you let them dry and they become like a date.
Yeah, they use it like for dates.
Are these common in India?
Very common, very common. The one that you're going to see is the very popular one that we. The big ones are also there in India, but I don't remember when I lived in India to have eaten this type of jujube. I mean, there are like 800 varieties, I think, out there, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. On the west coast of the United States and California, they have many more varieties. Here, like I said, they only
probably
have
a handful
one
over here.
A handful, but yeah, let's go check out the other trees.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so we're back to the other part of the jujube plantation. So,
and how many areas do you have of jujubes here?
I think right now we have about 4 or 5 areas of jujubes. They're kind of scattered.
Okay.
Basically, we didn't have a certain spot to put them in. So we've put wherever there's an opening for us, we put them. They're easy to manage. You know, they don't take a whole bunch of space. Of course, you know, if you see these are pretty big trees. So the one you're seeing here is the large jujube.
And which one is this? Do you know this was here or you grafted
this one? Was already here. This one and the one next to it, both were here. There's slightly different variation in terms of the taste.
Oh, there's two next to each other, right?
There's one here and there's one on the back side of this lychee tree.
Okay, I'm looking to see if there's a light one on here.
Yeah, these were, I think they must have picked a few in the last few weeks, few days.
What are the months of these different varieties? Are they all the same?
They pretty much come at the same time. You know, everything comes, they start flowering around April, May time frame.
There's a nice one.
Yeah.
See the difference in color, everybody?
Yep,
this one's yellow,
and that one's
you
can see green. The variation on that one.
You can see, so let's try this one. So you said the variety, they all come around the same time?
Same time, yeah, except the Indian jujube. The Indian jujube is a little later. And they're, I think, mid-February is what I'm thinking. So these were already, these fruited, like, you know, can harvest them around January timeframe. Early January, late December.
Now, when you sell these on your website, do you distinguish the differences, or do you just say jujubes?
We just say jujube. You know, we just say Chinese jujube or Indian jujube.
And how do you know if they're Chinese or Indian?
I mean, for the most part, the way I equate what's Indian is much smaller. We'll show you that one right now.
And you said there's one over there that's different?
The taste is different. They're still not fully mature on that one. We can take a look. So this is scattered in between the lychee tree here.
And the sizes of these trees are all similar?
Pretty similar, yeah. They were all planted.
Well, look at that tree. It looks like it fell down, right?
Yep. It's been fell down many times, you know, and so they put it back up there, and we don't know how long it's going to survive, you know.
Now, from my understanding is if it's grafted, well, I don't know.
You're saying where the graft would be?
Can you air layer these or no?
I've not tried them.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody in your audience has tried it.
It fell down several times, and you keep picking it up. So these are the Chinese ones?
These are the same, very similar, but slight variation on the kind. You can see these are a little bit more oblong, longer.
Wow, I've never seen anyone else in Florida growing so many different varieties. Wow.
So there's one up there on the top.
Yeah.
There's a large one here. Let's see if I can get that. This looks like an oddball. I don't know.
Yeah, a little.
But if you compare the fruit to the other ones, they're slightly different. Taste-wise, I think the larger ones are better. This one's not that great.
All right, and you have some more here, you said, right?
Yeah, we'll show you the one that's the most popular among Indian people. Not just Indian, anything in the Southeast Asian, you know, they all love that fruit.
Now I think Asians, what they do is they like it when it's sour and they dip it in a sauce, right?
Yeah. This is the Indian jujube. This is the authentic Indian jujube. So the size is
So much smaller.
Yeah, it'll have a sweet and a sour taste, but you got to pick one that's actually ripe. That's not fully ripe.
Okay.
So it'll have a astringent taste to it.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't want to eat that.
Yeah, but so much smaller. Look at that one.
Yeah, you could see
So
the
this one's the
abundance of
Indian
the
one.
production here.
Wow.
I'm looking for one that's
Wow, look at that. Wow. So
yeah, this
much.
is like a huge canopy, you know, and
So
fruits
many.
is one of my biggest or best jujube tree. It's almost fruits every year. Every year we get a pretty good production on it.
So Indians buy this one mostly.
Indians, Bangladeshis, some you know, from Thailand.
Now, do they eat them in sauce or they snacks?
We
or how
eat
do they
them raw. You know,
Raw.
once they become a slightly yellowish, orangish color, then you just eat them raw. So when you eat them in that shape or that color, the taste is more sweet and sour.
Now, there's a small tree here behind
Yeah, this
you
one just came in by a seed actually.
by a seed.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and actually the taste not too bad actually.
How long did it take before they came out?
Oh, this is just 2-year-old, not even 2 years. Yeah, this is just like 1.5 year to 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you can see they're producing like ton of them on a small tree. They're not fully ripe yet, but
Have you cut it back at all?
I haven't cut it back. This is the first year we're seeing fruit on it actually.
Wow.
And I don't know where it came from. It was a seedling from somewhere. Seed must have fallen here. The ones that will not produce small plants are this fruit here. We'll see tons of fruit fall on the ground. We'll actually put a tarp underneath it. That's the best way to collect the fruit. But even with the hundreds of fruit falling on the ground, they'll never propagate. So what we had decided was, you know, you have to actually cut the fruit, the seed, and then pick the 2 seeds in there. That's if they survive during the cutting process. And then when you plant it, you'll get the seed, you know, they'll propagate okay.
Do you ever cut this tree back?
We've cut it a few times, yeah, a few times. But it always gives this canopy type of appearance. They all come down and droop down like that.
So how many varieties would you say you have here on the farm? I know you don't know the names, but overall, how many varieties?
You know, if I look at each one of these with the slight variations, I would say maybe five varieties.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I wish I knew the names of every one of them, you know. And like I said, a few of them were seedlings. And the seedlings taste pretty good, you know.
Well, you can name the seedlings yourself.
I can name it by
So if you have that seedling and
Naga Fruit, Naga Jujube or something.
let's say somebody tasted it and they loved it and they wanted that. So would you just get a seedling and graft yours on top of that one?
They could do it if they wanted to.
Would that be the way to redo the
Absolutely,
tree?
yeah. I'd love to make more plants out of this particular one because it's not, most people don't have this one.
Now, was this here when you got here, or you planted?
This was already here when we got here. We got about 3 of these plants around, but this is the one that produces the most. Probably because it gets a nice sun, and the
Now, do you sell budwood if somebody wanted it?
We haven't sold any budwood. If somebody wants it, I'd love to give it to them.
And then they could propagate it.
Yeah, if they could do it and then give me a couple plants, you know, I'll be happy to.
So these are the ones that are from India.
Absolutely, this is authentic Indian. Yeah. Let me see if I can find you a small one that, because the taste is almost completely different when it's ripe.
And I haven't seen the giant Thai ones. Do you have those here?
You know, other than those 2 there, I mean, those 2 plants, sometimes some of the fruits on that one are pretty big.
Okay.
But not all of them, you know, so, but I think he's cut most of them out.
Okay.
I mean, the production is a little less on that one than these. I'm looking for a good, nice yellow reddish one. Yeah. Can wipe this one off.
Oh, look at that one.
Yeah. So that will have a slightly different taste to it.
Yeah.
Right? It's got that sweet, sour taste. Completely different from the other 2 other ones.
Very sweet and sour.
And you have to eat them when they're in that color, otherwise they won't taste good. Like you just tried one slightly yellow one, it didn't taste good.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this will be ready by next week. We'll start harvesting it.
Excellent. All right, everybody. I'm going to put the link below Definitely get here. So how does somebody know, like on your website, do you identify these as Indian, or if somebody wants these only? How would they do that on your website?
So we have two varieties that we sell, which we call the Chinese jujube. And we also, these ones particularly, we call them the Indian jujube.
Okay.
So people would have a choice of what they want. Under the Chinese jujube, we have a lot of variations in them.
Got you.
The small, big, all kinds of sizes. So we put them all into that category. The Indian jujube is very unique. So you saw the size and everything, and the taste-wise. So a lot of people, they want this particular one, compared to the other one. So we have them separated out on our website.
Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful.
Yeah, this is a classic one, because the production on this is just unbelievable. The problem is picking them, so because they're so high and tall, the best way to do it is we'll put a tarp and then let them, we'll just shake the tree and it'll all fall down, and then we'll pick them up.
And now, do you know any jujubes that grow off season, or they all grow at this time?
This particular one does grow off season. You'll see some around May, June, July time frame.
Oh, wow.
But the taste is not the same. And it's probably, I don't know why, but maybe because of the weather or whatever, it's just not the same as what you're tasting it now. Tremendous amount of, when it flowers tremendously. I mean, just the whole thing is full. And it produces every year, so there's really not a seasonal issue here with this jujube.
Well, on this one that you call the Indian one, is the leaves are really green, but this one here, the seedling, the leaves are much lighter.
Yeah.
Why that might be, or you don't know why?
I think it just, as the season is getting over, the leaves are going to drop off a little bit, and then the next batch of leaves will probably get a little more greener. But this particular one, is I mean, again, I can't tell why this is so green versus these ones, but these are just producing now.
And when these get like this, are they bad here?
I don't like them. Some people like them that way.
Because these, when they get like this, in California, that's when they're the best. But here they're... Yeah,
I'm just not thrilled with if they're too ripe enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have a different taste, but I would prefer this particular one. I think you have to eat them yellow.
Yeah.
And you'll see a few big ones up there on the top.
Yeah.
So way on the top, we picked about some that were 3 inches long. So that means I don't know what a big jujube is.
I'll have to show you one of mine. They're pretty big.
One that you're growing?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got the giant Thai ones.
So, where did you get that?
It's the common one that's in every nursery. It's called giant Thai.
Okay, so it's been propagated.
Yes, propagated. If you go to any nursery in South Florida to buy a tree, that's pretty much the only one they're going to have for sale. It's called giant Thai.
So how soon do you get fruits after you plant it?
Depending what size you plant it, but they propagate pretty quickly, and the taste is amazing. Far sweeter than any of these. Even when they're green, it's so. But when they get yellow, they're amazing. Real tasty. And they're big. They're delicious.
Maybe I should put a couple of those here.
100%, you should. Yeah. I'll try to stop by here one day and have you taste some of them.
Yeah, these are getting a little old. You could see they're kind of dying a little bit. So we need to replenish them with something else.
Yeah, that's why. It's interesting because you have more varieties than anyone else probably in all of Florida, because you can't even buy other varieties. There's only 2 varieties out there. There's the rootstock variety that people use to do rootstock.
Grafting,
and then there's the giant Thai one, which is the only one that's really for sale here in South Florida. So...
Yeah, I'm sure there are some really big ones, but like you said, this is not the real Thai variety.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
And you saying some of these are seedlings, some of these were here.
These were all grafted, I think. All 3 of them were grafted. We'll go to some of the ones that are seedlings.
Okay, and what happens is if somebody finds a good one, like you should, then that's the one you want to graft.
Absolutely. Once you like the taste of the fruit, I think that's the one you want to keep.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what I'm trying to do on the smaller one. I want to see if I can graft them and propagate them. We can make the small plants, but we just need to have someone to graft it for us.
Sure. Do you graft other things like lychees or anything here?
No, I'm just not good at grafting. I mean, the success rate for me is, you got to take the time and do it correctly. My success rate is maybe 20-30%. So I've given up grafting. I just ask somebody to do it for us. So air layering, we're almost 95% success for us. And it's an easy process, air layering, compared to grafting.
But you don't air layer the jujube, right?
We have not tried it.
Yeah,
we have not tried it. So I don't know if the air layering will work or not. Maybe we should try it this season.
Yeah.
So our next step is we've come to 2 jujube trees here, and both are from seedlings.
Okay, and we're in a different area of your property right now.
We're in a different area of the property, so you could see they're scattered around. We found 2 spots here and we planted them.
Now, when you say seedlings, so you get the seed, and you said you have to cut it open, and then the smaller seeds inside.
Small seed inside is what will generate the plant.
And then you plant those, and do you leave them in a pot until they fruit to see how they're going to do, or do you put them in the ground?
We'll leave them in a pot for maybe 4 or 5 months until they're a little good size, but 3-4 feet. Then we kind of randomly pick and say, hey, let's just go plant a couple of them.
So you're not planting ones that you've already tasted, you're just putting them in the ground as they grow.
Right, yeah. We don't know what's going to come out. And obviously these 2 are, we're not sure exactly what seedling, where they came from. But you can see they're different. Their color is different, the taste is going to be different.
Yeah.
So we could pick one that's a little more.
Is this the first year for these?
What's that?
Is this the first year that these?
No, this is the second year. Yeah, these are about 3-year-old plants. So last year we had some fruits. Now this year they're fruiting again.
So these are much harder.
Much harder, has a slightly different taste to it.
Yeah.
And they're small. They're not big. Even if they came from the bigger seed, we're still getting the smaller versions of them.
And let's try these.
Yeah, this is, I like this one better than the other one. So let's look at.
So these are smaller here.
Yeah.
But not as small as the Indian ones.
No, yeah. So they're not they're not Indian directly. So if you got a seed from the Indian one, obviously I don't think that's what we got here.
These have a nicer taste and they're softer.
So the question is, from what I'm hearing is the seedlings are used for grafting, propagating.
Yeah.
So if you put the just plain seedling to grow, and this is what you get. So I don't know the taste wise, they're not too bad.
To be honest with you, the taste wise, it doesn't come close to the giant Thai.
The Thai one, yeah. Thai one is, I guess, that's a very unique one from what you're explaining.
They're from Taiwan.
Yeah.
And I gotta bring you some because they're as big. They get big like a small apple, and they're much sweeter.
So that's the one I need to plant.
Yeah.
So we'll get a couple of those and plant them.
And they're easy to find here in South Florida. So
because of that, now I'm not taking any seedlings. I want to just put some grafted ones in there.
That's what I would do, because these, you're taking a chance, you're wasting time.
You don't know what you're going to get. Here you saw there's one variety over here, and then there's another variety over here. Sometimes you get lucky and they may taste nice.
Yeah. But the giant Thai, they also call them thornless Thai.
Taste, you're saying. Okay.
Consistent and excellent. But nice, and then you don't know how these are going to grow. Those, you know how you're going to grow and everything.
I think these ones, we're trying to keep them at this height. So we'll cut them down this year. So you can see them, they're canopying this way. And
there's all surrounded, you have lychees, right?
We have lychees all around it. There probably were lychee trees here at one time. But over the years, because of storms or whatever, we've lost a bunch of lychee trees. So wherever we found a spot where we can plant them, we planted some jujubes. So let's go look at the another location where we have more seedlings. Yeah. So these are all seedlings again.
More seedlings.
We can start from here. So you could try one of these. I mean, these look pretty yellow to me.
There's some more seedlings.
It's got a lot of thorns.
Now, this tree here, it looks like it's getting more sun because of the location.
Yeah, it should grow very well over here, I think, in terms of the location and then the amount of sun it gets. Yeah, absolutely. So not a great taste, but that's why, you know, the seedlings are going to give you their oddball taste.
Yeah.
Once in a while, you might get a very good one. So these are some other ones. There's not too many ripe ones on this one. These are all like 2 years old. And I'm not really sure what seed propagated these, what seed it came from.
Sure.
So it might be a mixture of them. And then because of that, you're getting all these different types of. So this is fruiting pretty good.
We'll see how that one is.
Yeah, it's got a little more yellowish. I mean, they're all different, right? I mean, each one is slightly some variation, but they're not as sweet as Thai, like you said.
No, they're all different, but
Yeah.
they're smaller and not as sweet as the giant Thai ones.
We've got some more here. This one doesn't have much fruit.
Not much fruit on that one at this point.
So this is a different one here.
But you never know, folks. Even though he's planting all these seedlings, you never know. One might come out that's absolutely amazing, and it's a new variety. So it's okay to plant seedlings if you have space.
But based on the track record, you know, I'm seeing they're not the original or anything. So you're seeing variations. Like you said, out of all these 10 or 12 plants we have, there isn't one that I would say I want to propagate. You know, they're all okay. You know, but I'd like to get something different. You know, the one at least the ones we have that are originally grafted. See, this is a different tree here. See if any. I mean, you can see they produce a lot. I mean, a tremendous amount of fruit. Yeah, this is slightly yellowish.
All these varieties have a tartness to them.
Got a little tartness to them, yeah.
And
there's a couple more here, but because of the shade, I think they're not growing very well.
yeah, see the difference when you get them in the sun versus in the shade? These in the shade aren't growing. So these are the different seedlings that you have here, and you're just experimenting and seeing what's working or not.
Yeah, I'm realizing that you know, the seedlings are not going to give you the perfect fruit. So the ideal way is to propagate them or graft them with the fruits that we like. And one of them would be the Thai, jujube that you mentioned.
Yes.
The real big one. And I'd like to see if I can propagate some of the good ones we have, you know, over there, like the Indian jujube and then the Chinese jujube of so-called Chinese jujube. So we'll see what happens, you know, and so that's it, you know, pretty much we're done with the plantation of the jujubes.
Very nice, very nice. So when you get one that you love, whether it's the giant Thai or one that you find you love, is your plan to replace these, remove these, or just plant new ones in another place? What's your plan?
These are just a couple years old. You know, if once we get more planted, most likely we're going to keep the ones that are going to taste well. Right now, what's happening is you got customers here that come in and they say, I like this one, right? I mean, different people have different tastes.
Yeah.
So when they say they like it, then, you know, there's no point in cutting it down, right?
Exactly.
There's a few people that say, hey, this is good. So we're kind of debating what to do, you know, going forward. Because of the inconsistency in the taste, long term, I think we should be planting ones that we actually know what they are.
Sure. Well, thank you for showing us what you got here, and tell everybody your website. I'll put a link below to that as well.
Yeah, our website is nagagardens.com, And you can go on the website and take a look at all the products we sell. There are not a lot of products, but Jujube is on there right now because they're in season. Sapodilla, we sell some sapodilla. We grow, currently we're growing Hasya is the variety that's coming out, and Alano is the one that's coming out. We can't sell a specific sapote. We just sell, say one sapote, it could be a mixture of both.
Got you.
So,
Got you.
and then thank you very much, Paul. Hopefully I've you learned some stuff from our farm regarding the jujubes.
Always, and we'll be back in the summer and see what the trees are doing. And keep up the great work, everybody. They ship these online. If you want to try them, I'll put a link below, and they are open on a weekend, Saturdays here. If you're local here in South Florida, you just contact them, and links are below. Thank you.